Well, I'm very clear about boundaries, but I've had to set a boundary, a very firm boundary that I know it's the right thing to do around my 23-year-old daughter. She has a lifestyle that is very dangerous, and she is in prostitution. And I have, over the years, have jumped through hoops to help her. Police
How
involved,
long has
social
she
worker.
been? How long has she been in prostitution?
Um, well, when she was 14 years old, two older men um, who have been arrested from it went on for a year, and I, from investigating,
Wow.
found
So
out. Yeah,
it's been 10 years that she's been in this
correct,
world.
correct. And
Okay. And so you said you've tried
so,
to help her in some ways. What have you tried?
mhm. Oh, all kinds of counseling, all kinds of social worker. I tried to send her away. Um, different
When you say you've
programs.
tried,
Sure, lot.
you tried, or you
Hmm.
sent her away and y'all tried the program and it didn't do anything. Is that right?
Well, we're. This is when she was 14, and it first happened. And I found a
What?
program, Teen Challenge program, and her father intervened. We're divorced, and took her in. He didn't want her sent away.
So she did
And
not
then
go through the
even
Teen Challenge program.
she was
Uh,
accepted and was ready to
you, you
go.
know,
And
you know what's so
um,
weird about that, Lisa, is when you were starting to tell me this, one of the things that came to mind was, oh, I'd send her to Teen Challenge.
mhm,
That's
yeah.
exactly what came to mind. Anyway, so what's the question? I get it's been long standing. You've tried a bunch of stuff.
hmm And so, and she's been in and out of my home. She comes here to like rehab, but it's so destructive and it puts me in danger. Um,
What does rehab
Also,
mean?
I think she tries to change her life around, but she doesn't keep up with the counseling. I try to, um, give her
Okay.
incentives. You work a
So
job, help
she
pay.
says, I want
Yeah.
to get out of this, Mom. I want to get out of this. I'm gonna come back and live there and try to get out of this. And then she says, I'm gonna see a counselor and I'm gonna do this, but then it falls apart. Is that right?
hmm Yes, and
Okay.
I'm told that this happens, but at the time she spends in it gets less, and the time she spends home gets more. But this time around, it hasn't happened. Multiple, plane tickets, bus tickets to rescue her from a situation. She's been beaten up in the hospital. I mean, it's bad. Um, so recently, she, called in hysterics. She was in New York City, and someone was threatening to kill her. And I put my foot down. You
She
can
called
not
in
come here and live with.
you went out on me. She called from New York City and what?
Was demanding a bus ticket home and to come back here and live
Oh,
with
I see.
me,
Okay.
um, because someone was threatening to kill her. And this isn't the first time. Uh, and I put my foot down and said, "You cannot live here. You can come here. You can find another place to stay. I will help you, but you need." I was very clear. You need to be in a program. I've given her programs. She needs residential living.
Right,
Found
she does.
programs. I've spoken with people,
She does.
and
Okay, so
and made it
I
very
get
firm.
that. So what's the question?
It's so hard. I mean, I know I'm doing the right thing, that I'm not going to be a part
Mm,
of enabling her,
yeah.
but to know it's so hard. I mean, my bones ache.
I can't imagine.
I
I
lose
can't
sleep,
imagine the pain you must feel.
and it's and I do well. I have a good life in spite of, I'm from a domestic abuse situation, and and I do well, and I work as a case manager. I'm a nurse, and I help a lot of people. And
Wow.
this is so hard. And
Lisa,
I know I'm doing
it's
what's right.
got to be so hard. I mean, this is your daughter. We understand. I mean,
Mhm.
any parent out there would understand. So tell me, you've tried a bunch of things. Tell me, is the main thing you're asking me, you're going to stick to what you're doing, but the main thing that you're
Mhm.
asking me is how you deal with it, with the pain
Mhm.
and holding the
Mhm.
boundary? Is that what you're asking?
I don't have any problem holding the boundary. I am clear that this
Yeah.
needs to be done, because if I don't do it, I'm part
No,
of the problem.
I get that,
It's
and
so
I
painful.
would, I don't, we don't need to spend a lot of time on this, but I would just make sure included in the boundary would be, um, if I am going to be involved with you or help you in any way, you must go into a structured residential treatment center like Teen Challenge. Okay, that's kind of the.
I
She's got to
do.
have some structure. Okay, so having said that, tell me, because we're running out of time. We're at the end of the hour. Give me your
Mhm.
question.
How do you
Is
ease this pain?
Yeah.
Can you?
Okay.
Can
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Yeah. You can, but I say that like, uh, I don't want that to sound flip. I don't want that to sound easy because it's a deep one, right? It's an awful one and it's ongoing. So it keeps happening. Um, but the way that you do it, the first thing that's really going to help with this, and you've done it, but I want you to sit down with somebody really objective and make sure that you're checking all the boxes, that you're saying, sweetheart, i I want to help you. I've tried to help you. It doesn't work when I have, because you don't stick with it or whatever. So here's the thing, like I said, I can't be helping you. You can't live here. I'm not going to do this unless, and the only unless is if you go into a structured long-term residential program, and here are the some available options, or you could find your own, but I got to agree to it if I'm going to help. So make sure you put that structure up then, because that's going to
Yes.
help you. That's going to help you be able to say, when the voices are telling you, oh, I got to rescue her, I got to do this, I got to do that, that's going to help you remember, I have given her the very best option to help that exists. My
Mhm.
helping her is not
Mhm.
the best option. It hasn't helped. It's not going to help. I have done what is best. Now I've got to focus on me. And so at that point, that's going to have a structural boundary symbolically to take into your head, where then you turn around and you go to your group. Okay, your
Mhm.
Al-Anon or your codependency group or your support group or whatever it is. And then you are going to constantly reinforce this. And here's the key word: separateness from her, because this
Mhm.
separateness that you've made physically has now got to become psychological. Because until you
Mhm.
experience yourself, this is me, this is my life, these are my values, this is my work, that is her, and she's in control of that, and she's the one that's got to make those decisions, and keep reinforcing that. That's going to actually help the chances of her getting better, but it's also going to build some skin around you to know what's your pain and what's her pain. And your pain is going to then turn into grief, and then you're going to
Mhm.
start to process the sadness of letting go and letting her
Uh,
have to deal with this. But you've got to do that in a very, 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 very strong support system that understands this problem. And that's going to be the way that you deal with this. And the other thing is, you are you a person of faith?
oh, yes, yes.
Okay,
It's my faith that's got me through this.
that's good. There, I would just go through all the way through the scriptures and all the things that help us realize. and read testimonies and hear stories. You know, I've heard so many thousands of these stories where the parents, you know, they pray and they wait and they let them get arrested and they let, you know, and when's it ever, and and at some point God intervenes. She's in his hands. And part of this is going to be
Mhm.
continuing to say, God, I can't do anything. She's in your hands. And that's going to be a big
Mhm.
part of this as well.
Thank
Lisa, I
you.
hope that's helpful to you. We got to go. We're unfortunately out of time, but my heart does go out to you. I would like to ask all of our family there on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and other, you know, where y'all support each other. Say a prayer for Lisa's daughter and for her as they go through this tough, 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 tough deal. Tough deal.